Meet Chinenye Boyo, a global recruitment specialist and HR consultant with over 12 years of experience in talent acquisition, workforce strategy, and career development. Chinenye Boyo has a first-class honors degree in HR and a master's with distinction. She blends deep expertise with a passion for helping professionals navigate today's job market. Through her firm, Bozitario Consult, she offers practical, tailored support to job seekers, professionals, and newcomers to Canada, covering resume optimization, interview preparation, career guidance, workplace coaching, and more. She's known for her strategic insight and people-centered approach. Chinenye is on a mission to demystify HR and empower professionals to thrive. In this episode, she'll share the hidden truths of recruitment, how to stand out in a competitive market, and what it really takes to land a role that aligns with your purpose. Let's welcome Chinenye Boyo.
Chi, welcome to the show. How
Hi,
you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Great. I'm well, thank you. It's good to have you on the show, and thank you so much for honoring our invitation in short notice.
It, it feels so good to be here as well.
All right, thank you. All right, so before we dive
All right.
into the interesting conversation that we're having today, so we have
Okay.
few questions just for us to know you better, just before we start the
Mm-hmm.
conversation. It's a this or that
Okay.
game, so
Mhm.
yeah. So I'll ask you two questions, so you tell me which one it is right for you. All right, so let's
Okay,
start.
sure.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Morning person or night?
It kind of depends on the day.
Ah, okay.
I will say I will say morning.
Really? Yeah,
Kind of
probably
depends on how the day went.
vacation and
Yeah, it depends on what I have going for that period. So morning, it's when I say morning, I don't mean 6 a.m. I mean 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Then I'm a morning person.
ah,
So if that qualifies as morning, then I'm a morning person.
great. Okay, so team outing or solo activity?
Well, team in the sense that if it's team building, team bonding,
Mm-hmm.
getting to know each other, of course.
Ah, okay.
If it's personal, I'll say solo. But then again, I need someone that will take pictures. So that's why I might. But I feel like it really just does depend on the scenario. If it's work, of course, like let's go for that team bonding. Let's get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's going on. But if it's personal life, it just really depends on the group. I had the best group trip of my life a few months ago, so it really just does depend on who is on the team, right?
Yeah.
It's a hard pick for me.
Singing or dancing?
I would say dancing because
Hmm.
I've heard funny things about my voice. I love it for me like that, but I sometimes laugh about myself when I sing. So I'd rather just move my body and do whatever there is to do. But my voice, I feel like I know it's cute, but again, I don't know. I'm
I'm
not
not
sure.
sure I would
I'm not
choose
sure.
any though.
Yeah, I was gonna say none, but if I have to choose, I would just say dancing for as long as I can. Then I just yeah, maybe I'll choose dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah, choose
I
dancing
think I wouldn't choose Henny because I know I don't know how to sing. People expect me to know how to sing, probably because of how my
because of
voice
how
sounds.
cute your voice is.
Yeah,
Yes.
so but I don't know how to sing. I can't
Yeah.
sing on a key. So and dance either, I can't dance, so none for me really.
Ah,
Right.
okay.
Great, great, Chi. It's nice to have you again. So let's dive
Thank
straight into
you.
the conversation, right?
Okay.
Chi, you've helped a couple of people land their dream job. Can you take us
Yes.
through what that is for you? Just being able to support people get the jobs of their dream. You know, I,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel it's fulfilling, right? So can you walk us through that?
It's so fulfilling. The main reason I do what I do is because of the end result, right?
Mm,
The main reason I push, I encourage, I try to figure it out is because of the end result. So
mhm.
I'll talk you through it.
Okay.
So, of course, we've had clients come to say, I'm new in the country. I'm struggling to find a good job, and some people who are here are also struggling to find the job of their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come to us for
Yeah.
consultation, we kind of like have set questions and tests to, okay, what do you want? What are
Mm-hmm.
you interested in? What have you been doing? How have you been doing it?
Okay.
Because sometimes I find that if you don't know what the problem is, you can't really give the best solution there is,
Yeah.
right? So when we know what the issue is, then we can go ahead to say, this is what we're going to recommend. We have, first of all, we have to understand your likes, your dislikes. What do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
What area do you want to specialize in? Because I find that most people just on their resume is showing everything. It's not really projecting them the way they want to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Some people feel like because you're in a lot of different fields, you're marketable, but sometimes not really. You need to kind of like show what you can do and how you're a specialist in your field. We understand it that, yeah, sometimes you're on one job, you're doing like two, three different other roles.
Yeah.
That's why we always advise you to tailor your resume to speak volume to majority, like 80% of your resume should be saying what you want to be known for. And then you can add the other things as add-ons, right? So when we look at your resume, we want to be sure that you're shown in a way that your achievements are measurable
Okay.
on every role you've had. I mean, not just putting in the job description on the resume, but okay, what did you achieve? Because I find that most hiring managers want to know, what have you achieved on the job?
Mm-hmm.
You're not just there ticking the boxes. You've maybe, for example, increased sales by 90%.
Mm-hmm.
Those percentages, those numbers would help anybody that has not even worked in your field to say, okay, this is a go getter.
Mm-hmm.
This is someone that we want to talk to. When we kind of tweak your resume to make sure it suits what you want to be seen as, then we can tell you how to identify those keywords in every job posting that will help you project you to the hiring managers. Because I mean, there are so many things that happen behind the scenes. Maybe that's a conversation for another day. So many things happen behind the scenes that you don't even know with the applicant tracking systems here in Canada. Most of them right now are AI powered. Most of them right now are going to even help screen you out even without a human being looking at your resume. And even most of them right now are beginning to identify AI doctored or AI written resumes. So you need to understand, what are the keywords? What do I need to put in there that will make, even though it's not a human being looking at the resume, know that I am the best candidate for this job? And then you go ahead, put in that application. We also offer interview preps,
Yeah.
because sometimes you go in for an interview and you're like, interview, okay, let me just go and speak about all of my experiences. And yet again, not buttressing or not projecting the main experience that you want to the hiring manager to see, that is most related to the job you're applying to. So when we come in for those kinds of interview preps, we are going to have like a mock interview, of course, ask you questions like it's the hiring manager asking you those
Mm-hmm.
questions, give you a feedback depending on how you do on the first interview. We'll recommend if you need a second one, or if you are good to go, right? And of course, give you the most constructive feedback that will help you scale through the actual interview. And then, yeah, after the interview, we're also happy to help you negotiate. A lot of hiring managers offer maybe not the lowest, but somewhere in the mid range. And yes, a lot of hiring managers are also not able to offer the highest of the band, but somewhere in between the mid and the highest. So if you just agree to the mid, you're going to be stuck. So before joining that role is the time you want to negotiate and get that dream salary. I mean, some people will say it's not really about the money, I want the experience. I mean, if you can have both, why not?
Yeah. Sure.
If you have both the experience and the money, why not? So I mean, sometimes people are like, "Oh no, I've been job searching, I've been job hunting. I don't want to lose this opportunity." You're going to get into that job and probably be stuck for another year or two with no salary increase when you could have been earning higher from day one. So you want to choose your struggles wisely. And I've not seen any hiring manager that will say this person is negotiating salary, I don't want her. The tone of your negotiation, the way you go about your negotiation really does matter. You can't just be, oh, I'm the best in the world on this for this role and come with pride and ego. It could be a turn off. But if you come from an angle of, I'm so excited about this job, I am so, so excited. I can't wait to join the team. However, if you were offered, for example, 100K, is there an opportunity to earn 110? Or is there an opportunity to earn 120?
Mm.
Again, referring it back to the band, you can't see a job that was posted for. I mean, you can try. We can try sometimes, but I know that for certain unionized roles, if there is a band, there is a band. There is no room to go above the band. So you can't be seeing a job that was posted for 80K and you're asking for 100K if it's a unionized role. I mean, we know we have our ways of seeing and knowing which ones are unionized, which ones are not. So yeah, there are just certain things here and there that will help you, that we kind of handhold you through the ladder, and to make sure that from resume review, even before the resume review, I found some clients that they're in a field that they're not so excited about, and they want to switch. They want to kind of switch roles. They want to kind of switch fields, and they are at a place where they're like, I'm already so familiar with this one. I've done a little bit of this other area that I want to go into, but I don't even know how to sell myself in that area.
Mm.
Um, so there is that as well. So sometimes there are generalists in a field, say for example HR. They call themselves HR generalists, which is in its sense is a role and means different things to different organizations. But if you're applying as a HR generalist to an organization that doesn't know what it means to be HR generalist and they're looking for a specialist, you want to let them know that that specialist they are looking for, that's you. You've done that and you've played that role in the past. So all of those kind of tweaks and turns are things that you want to make sure that you are showing yourself the way you want to be seen, basically.
Well, great. You've said a lot, and I have tons of follow-up to those.
Yeah, let's go.
Right.
Let's
So,
go. I just kind of had to start end to end so
yeah,
we are
that
sure.
is really
Um,
detailed. Like, so my
yeah.
first follow-up would be, have you helped any candidate to take like a drastic turn in their career? You kind of made reference to a generalist.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example?
So two come to
Yeah,
mind.
okay.
Two. There are two that come to mind. There was the one who was an admin who wanted to switch into being a project manager.
Oh,
I find that those are like two ends
yeah.
of the stick because I mean admin is just like routine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Project the project manager, you have to pay attention to detail. I mean, you're coordinating so many things at the same time, which is kind of similar to admin, but on a higher level.
Yeah.
And this candidate had volunteered as a project manager for years.
Oh, great.
He had joined the project management team in his organization, and he had also been part of so many projects, not just as an admin, but he has volunteered to be like part of the meetings, understand the processes
Yeah.
and all of that. And I was like, "Oh, that's amazing. Sounds like you have a good grasp of what project management is." Now, where I come in is, what are the exams or things you need to
Certification.
do in that field? Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
certifications you need in that field to blossom. And I'm like, okay, let's go. I mean, for me, project management PMP is right off the bat easy for me to think about because I know most project managers now you must have PMP. I mean, sometimes they hire coordinators for managerial roles depending on what kind of project experience you have. But most project managers have that PMP. And of course, demonstrated that they have been project managers across different industries or something for
Okay.
you to have a shot at the role. But I find that within the project coordinator space, you don't necessarily have to have been a project manager or even have the PMP. Just demonstrate that you've done those things. So again, we positioned him for both. And today he landed a project manager role. He was so surprised. Well, because again, I'm not saying go and lie on your resume, right? If it's a volunteer experience, put it right there that it's a volunteer
Yeah.
experience. Make it as detailed as possible. If it's a part-time experience, put it right there that it's part-time. Even though you were admin, you were doing this as a part-time job. Like, still highlight the project management as much as you can while buttressing the fact that you've kind of worked across different departments within the organization. So yeah, right now he's a project manager from being an admin, and I'm so proud of him. It's a big jump.
Yeah.
He kind of fell for a second, but he's doing good. At least
Great.
he's been on the job for almost a year now, and I'm so proud of him.
Great.
And then there is the HR one as well,
Okay.
because I find a lot of them. HR generalists, especially from back home,
Mm,
it's like HR generalist. But when you come to Canada, I mean, they have those like HR manager here, but mostly small organizations. If you come to bigger organizations, there are maybe HR directors, and there are so many specialists. One person is doing training, one person
mm-hmm.
is doing the hire,
Yeah.
one person is doing the payroll, one person is doing like one or two people or different teams, talent management. So it's just like you kind of like have to understand what is it right now in the organization I want to work in, and how can I tailor my resume to show that I have done this, I love this, and I'm gonna excel at it.
Interesting. Whoa. So I know that for you do the resume revamping with the candidate, for example, the one you just mentioned now, do you have like a 10 seconds rule for the candidate or for resume revamping? Like, what are the key things that you think should be on the resume? So if a recruiter sees my resume, the recruiter should be looking forward to speaking with me. Like, what is it?
Um, First off, a very good introduction
Okay.
and summary of your skills.
Okay.
Somewhere in there, you can put in the applications you've used and you are using. Most importantly, very measurable achievements, not just all over the place. I've done this, I've done that. Measurable.
I like that.
Um,
Measurable. Yeah.
yeah, very important, because if it's not measurable, then it's a job description.
Hmm.
It has to be measurable. And then, of course, make sure your fonts are aligning, because if you have fonts all over the place, I'm gonna say this candidate most likely doesn't pay attention to details.
True.
Make your resume easy to read, and as much as possible, keep it to 2 pages, because it doesn't take more than 10 seconds for a recruiter to look at your resume.
Yeah, that's what I was asking for 10 seconds rule.
Yeah, it doesn't take more than 10 seconds. If at a glance, at the first page, I'm seeing everything about you. And if I'm interested, I want to look more into it, then I can start to look at the specifics.
Yeah,
But you have to have a very catchy introduction and a very readable resume.
nice. Let's talk LinkedIn.
Okay.
So, all right. So, what are the most underrated LinkedIn profile hacks? Because I know recruiters, they check your LinkedIn and you guys don't even check with profile that is visible. You kind of spy.
Yeah,
So, what's the
that's
under,
fine.
yeah. So, what's the underrated LinkedIn hack?
Your location,
Oh, okay.
because I deal with a lot of newcomers, and I find that they relocate here and they live wherever they are coming from as where they are on their resume.
Mm,
As a recruiter, if I want to recruit you for a role in Canada, and I go to your resume, sorry, I go to your LinkedIn profile, and I find out that you're in Africa,
Mm.
I'm not gonna reach out to you because most likely the job is not offering sponsorship. And I'm not even gonna ask you where are you
Mm.
because again, we have tons of applications.
Yeah. Really
Another
underrated.
very another very underrated one is when you post your personal opinions on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
It's not wrong, but it could easily rub off rub someone off the wrong way.
Hmm.
In the sense that you're just speaking your truth. You're just because I find that people don't use LinkedIn for what it should be used for. It should be a very professional site. It should be somewhere that you're being as professional as you will be in an office presentation, right? It's not Facebook. It's not Instagram. For some recruiters is first off, what are you doing with your LinkedIn profile? That's gonna reflect what you're gonna do on the job.
Hmm.
Do I agree? Not really. But I've found over time that it's
It impacts decisions.
it does.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does. Another very underrated one is you have to have a LinkedIn profile
What do you mean
because
profile?
some people don't have a LinkedIn profile and
Oh,
you're looking for a job
oh,
in this year.
okay.
And you like let's even start from the basics.
Okay.
You have to have a LinkedIn profile because I've had a hiring manager say to me, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I don't want to see you.
Right. Like, okay. So where do I even
So
check
it's
you? Like, where, aside from what is on your resume, where can I even
yeah,
find you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there are ATSs now. I've used a couple of
Yeah.
those that can auto decline you even without anybody looking at your profile based off of certain automations.
Oh, okay.
Like, do you have a LinkedIn profile? You're saying yes or no. But for sometimes, if you say no, it's an automatic decline. For some
Oh,
things, if you say yes, decline because there are certain automations that have. But then you wouldn't even know you've been declined until maybe 3 4 days after because you're gonna get the email eventually. So you just need to position yourself
yeah.
to show the world and to show any hiring manager that you're the best candidate there is for the role.
Wow. I think a lot goes into this thing
A
that we
lot.
don't pay attention
A
to,
lot.
I guess.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, so we're still on LinkedIn, right? So which one do you think lands the job better? Networking or posting on LinkedIn?
It's hard to choose.
Okay.
I've seen networking do a lot of wonders for people.
Mm,
I've also seen networking not help a lot of people as well.
okay.
So I feel like it really just does depend on the scenario. Yeah,
So,
that's what
so,
I'm
so
thinking.
would you, okay, so just thinking about it, I would think that when you post somewhere along the line, you get to network.
Does it help?
I don't know that that's what I'm asking. Like from a
So yeah, I'll
recruiter
say this because
perspective, do you think it helps?
I'll say this from a recruiter's perspective. I don't want to say stop,
Okay.
but I'll tell you for free, most recruiters are not as influential as you think they are on you landing the job.
Oh, okay.
They might have posted that job on LinkedIn. They might be the owners of that job, but they don't make hiring decisions.
Mm.
I've learned to never say never.
Yeah.
But having been a recruiter for years, I haven't been able to help any stranger that has reached out to me on LinkedIn because of a job I've posted. Only because the organizations I've worked, we are the ones doing the scheduling of interviews, phone screens, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
but we're not making the hiring decisions.
Yeah.
And I feel like even talking to my fellow recruiters, I find that they get a lot of those messages. They try to be as polite as possible, but again, are they like, it hurts me sometimes when I can't help. But I've also come to realize that it's not that I can help and I don't want to help. I just can't.
Yeah.
So if you're networking with me for a role, I can put in a word or two, but it doesn't mean I can get you that job.
Yeah. I read on LinkedIn recently, like I think a recruiter also put that up to say, if I post a role, follow the process, right? Don't reach out to me saying I should employ you. No, like there's a process. Just follow the process. If you're the best
Yep,
candidate, trust me, we would reach out to you,
you
or the
win.
system automatically kind of select you and you start to kind of go through the process. So when I read that, I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, so I particularly penned down this question to ask you this one. So what do you feel about it? Right. I think your thoughts is also aligned to what I read. The recruiter just said, there's a process. Let's just follow the process. Like I think
Hmm.
recruiters get a lot of these emails and you
You
know.
don't want to know, shame. Like, I opened my LinkedIn inbox the other day. I kind of ran out. I wish you all knew that I can't help as much as you think I can,
Yeah.
right? It's painful sometimes when you read certain messages and you're like, okay, this person is in their need of a
Yeah.
role. I wish I could help, but I can't. Yeah, just follow the process. Even referral, I find that referral helps, but I don't even know if referral still helps as much as it used to.
Oh, okay.
I find that, like, over time, with how demanding the Canadian job market has been,
Yeah.
referral helping has kind of dipped.
Okay.
Most organizations don't even offer those referral bonuses anymore.
Oh,
Some still do. And that's because a lot of very talented individuals are out there.
yeah.
A lot of very talented individuals are out of work.
Mm.
So they don't even need you to refer top talent anymore because the top of the top of the top talents are applying.
Wow. Nice. Let's talk negotiation.
Okay. It's a very fun one.
So,
Let's
how
do
do you
it.
advise candidates to research salaries in such a way that it doesn't sound awkward?
I find that most job postings now have a range. Some
Mm.
still don't.
Yes, yeah, some don't.
Yeah, some still don't. And what I would say is, first off, if it has a range, negotiate within the range. That says two things. You paid attention to the job posting, you read it properly, and you're really interested in the role. I've had people auto declined just because they asked for salary that is above the range.
Mm.
What that says to most hiring managers is you didn't even read the posting. You're not even interested in the job, especially if the range was posted.
Mm.
So, and then they're still asking you, how much do you want? And you're asking 5K, 10K above range. It's like archive for compensation. We are not able to pay this person.
Oh,
So, first off, does it have a range? If it does have a range, stay within the range.
oh, okay.
If it does not, there is Glassdoor. There are certain
Mm.
sites that you can Google the salary range for certain roles within certain organizations or industries. Then it can give you an idea of what that company pays for that role. Usually it's a very wide range.
Mm.
Then I would say, when you're negotiating, let them know that the range was not posted. However, from your research, the role gets up to this, and you're very open to a conversation about it. This is like, ask politely, ask with enthusiasm
Oh,
for the hiring manager
yeah.
to know you're so excited about joining the team. I haven't seen any hiring manager say, I'm rescinding an offer because this candidate is asking for more money.
Yeah. Okay.
The highest you're gonna get is no. especially when a verbal offer has been made.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying right off the bat in an interview, oh no, I don't want this salary. Oh no, you have to wait for a verbal offer. We're going to do it the demure way. You're going to wait for a verbal offer. And then when you get that verbal offer, you're going to sleep over it, do your research, come up with a very passionate email,
Yeah.
and you can ask for what you want to ask for from your research. Make it clear that it's from your research.
Yeah.
It's not because you just want to ask.
So, still on negotiation, in your opinion, what are the underrated perks that your candidates do not negotiate?
I find that everybody focuses on money.
Yeah, true.
And money is good, but your mental health is more important.
Mm,
You should start negotiating more of vacation time.
yeah.
I've seen people negotiate vacation time from 3 weeks to 4 weeks or 5 weeks.
Oh,
It might not be physical cash, but it's money. It's time,
mm,
and time is money.
oh,
Health benefits. Some organizations will charge you for health benefits.
mm-hmm.
You might want to negotiate for your health benefit to be free.
That's also money in
Um,
some sort.
yeah, it's money.
Mm,
It's money because they might say, "Oh no, we can't give it to you free," and then they're gonna add money to your salary to augment whatever is being taken away. Of course, relocation. If you're relocating, relocation allowance is another thing that I find out people. Oh, I really want this job. I don't want them to say they're not gonna give it to me because I'm not in town, and I don't want to negotiate that. Ask. I
yeah,
just keep saying my motto is ask.
yeah,
What's the worst you're gonna
yeah,
get? It's no. How you ask, the tone
yeah,
matters a
yeah,
lot, and you don't want to be asking for a lot of things at the same time. If you can send one concise email of everything you want
mm,
and you would love to have, not letting them, not making it sound like if I don't have this, I'm not joining the role.
yeah,
It's this is what I have. It would be nice if I get your opinion on this. Another thing is I found that most organizations have different kinds of health benefits.
okay.
So some people, like I've worked with organizations where they're like, this is basic, this is middle, whatever, and then there
Yeah.
is the premium, whatever, for the packages, right? And you, I've also seen a candidate negotiate for to pay the basic fee for the premium package.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
negotiations come in different ways, and you you want to be sure that you're not leaving anything on the table, not even vacation.
Mm,
So yeah, money is good,
yeah.
but think of other things. Professional development.
Ah, okay.
It's another thing that people underrate when they are negotiating.
Mm,
Especially if you belong to a body or if you have courses you want to take
yeah,
to help you with the role, of course.
yeah,
Some organizations you don't even have to negotiate it, they're gonna pay. But some organizations you kind of like have to have it in writing that I want to do this.
yeah,
Are you able to cover this?
yeah. Hmm, okay.
Another very important one, which goes back to the first one of the few questions you asked me at first.
Yeah.
If you can negotiate remote work, negotiate remote work.
Oh,
Remote work saves you more than you know. It saves you resources, gas money,
yeah,
vehicle wear and tear. It saves you more money than you know. Even though sometimes, I mean, remote works are not so many out there anymore. If you can negotiate hybrid, do
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Once you join, you've joined. There's really no going back. Sometimes there is really no going
Right,
back.
it's true.
It's like you've signed this contract, you signed it
Yeah, so ask for everything you can before you
before.
join the organization.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Chi, I have two more questions for you. One is,
Okay.
you do this job, right, with joy You do it even without pay, you are able
Hmm.
to do this job. So tell me, why did you choose this career?
I chose this career path because I mean, I love to work with people to help them achieve their dreams
Okay.
and their goals in life. I think I kind of mentioned it earlier where I said the end result makes me do everything that I do. I'm not saying it's magic, but you just keep pushing, you just keep trying because you know that you know what this client can be. You believe in your client, and then you want to push them to become the better version of themselves that the
Mm.
future them would come back and say thank you for. We have so many reasons why we do what we do. It's fulfilling, it's challenging. You have to do a lot of thinking, a lot of reading, a lot of research. It kind of keeps you on your toes. But again, when you know you want to get results, you need to do everything there is to be done to get that result. So it's the end result that for me makes me do what I do.
What is your advice for somebody just starting out their career?
If you're just starting up your career, do a proper research on what you want to do. Do some soul searching about who you want to be.
Mm.
Because I find that a lot of people get into careers, like different career paths, because my mom said I should do it. My dad said I should do it. My friends are doing it, so I'm doing it. And you're going to excel better if you have a passion for it. You're going to
Totally
see
agree.
more results if you have a passion for what you do. You're not just going in there every day to tick the boxes. Oh, Lord, I'm done for today's work. Bye. Earned money today. Bye. You're not going to keep, like, you have to continue to look for ways to grow, evolve, and be better, a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday. So you need to be in a field that you feel fulfilled. And there are a lot of career tests right now that can help you, even some are free online, that can help you determine where you're headed as an individual or where you would succeed. Some and those and of course you can't take that 100% because it is solely based off of the answers you give them for certain questions. So you need to be as honest can be when you're doing those things. I mean, people change career paths every day. You can even be very passionate about something today and something else will come up tomorrow. Yeah, I get it. That's okay. But let it never be that you were never passionate about it. Let it never be a case of you were asked to do it. Let it be a case of I wanted to do it, I went into it, and I find that I want to pivot into something else now.
Although I
Yeah.
said last question, I'm going to ask you one more.
Go for it.
Have you
Go
seen
for it.
where a candidate is afraid to negotiate? And
Yes.
okay, so tell me, how do you help them to overcome that fear?
First off, I ask why. And 80% of the time, it's just been because they've been job hunting for a while.
Okay.
And whatever they got is even way higher than what they have right now. And they're scared to lose it.
Oh, okay.
It's usually because of fear. And for me, I find that if you're scared to lose something, you're not going to get the best of it. It came to you. You got a verbal offer. That's why most times when I get a verbal offer, I kind of ask the recruiter or I'll tell my candidate, can you please send this in an email so I can digest it? Right? If any organization writes you an email offering you a job, it's legally binding. That means you have the job at the level or at the salary you were offered. Why are you scared? Especially in this part of the world. Why are you scared? It's okay to ask. And I can't overemphasize the ask nicely and politely.
Yeah.
I don't see why it should be taken back from you unless the position is being cancelled.
Okay.
And most importantly, if you don't have an offer letter in hand, don't resign your job. Don't resign your job until you have an offer letter in hand, because you can have a verbal offer which is legally binding, but anything that can be anything can go wrong, and not always because you negotiated. It could be something came up within the department and they need to abolish the role.
Mm,
Something came up within the organization and they're not hiring anymore. But when you have an offer letter in hand, it's hard for them not to uphold the terms and conditions in the offer.
okay.
So yeah, I would say don't be scared when you're negotiating. The tone is everything when you're negotiating.
Thank you so much. Like you've said a lot. Like I need to first digest it myself. Right? Even though I'm currently not searching, but then this is a lot that I think I can apply to myself. And I'm sure somebody somewhere has gained one or two insights from this conversation. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing your
Thank
wealth of knowledge
you.
with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. I
Thank
will
you so
catch
much
up
for.
with you again. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye.